Hey, what's going on, everybody? I am back. I had to take a short absence. I had to cut the video short, my last XRP video. If you haven't seen that video, XRP, go watch it. I made it literally a couple hours ago, going over incredible amounts of detail. But now I want to talk more about sort of the nitty gritty and how we can get going here. And is it really XRP's time? I'm a little on the fence if it's going to go now, but it wouldn't surprise me one bit. Here's the thing. When you go back and you look at the last time XRP had a major significant bull run, it was only one time. It was back in 2017, 2018. So this whole thing was an XRP bull run. That's the only time it really had a bull run. You can argue, yeah, the coin came out over here and it did have this bull run. That's true. I guess you could say that. But any significant bull run, it was only one time. So the question is, how can we get another bull run, right? XRP, like I said in the last video, has been consolidating in a range longer than any other coin on planet Earth. Let me repeat that. XRP has the biggest base in crypto history. Okay? You can say, well, what? That sucks. It hasn't broken out into a new all-time high. It hasn't gone anywhere. That's dumb money talking. Okay? Smart money likes to get in, as the price is boring, depressing, and dreadful and torturous. That's when Warren Buffett, that's when his boys get into the market, when it's sort of not doing anything, when it's sort of just grueling, okay? So that's what we're in now. Basically, what I have highlighted, that yellow box, is just a massive version of this smaller version back over here. I mean, it's pretty simple here. And I always say this, and I always will say this. Basically, you have a rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, sideways, breakout. Okay? You have a rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, sideways, breakout. That's exactly what's happening now, but on a much bigger scale, on the biggest scale you can possibly think of. You have a rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, sideways. What comes next? What comes next? Rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, sideways, breakout. Rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, sideways, breakout. Okay? You say, well, you repeat yourself. I have to repeat myself. I will repeat it over and over and over and over and over again because it is like the biggest thing to me in crypto is what is happening here. So again, people don't like XRP. They think it's boring. They think it's never going to break out. It's a crap coin, right? And I get it. I totally understand. And then you have the other people who don't like XRP who say, oh, it's a banker coin and it's this and it's centralized. And I get all that too. I don't think it's centralized. I think it's decentralized, but we're not going to talk about that. What I'm going to talk about is the price. All I care about is the price. And I care about what the price is doing. So when we had the last bull run, many coins broke out into their all-time high. So I'm talking about all the coins. So just look at Total 3, okay? So Total 3, it broke out into a new all-time high. Total 3 is basically all the altcoins on planet Earth except for Bitcoin and Ethereum. So you can see that the whole market, right, basically went up. XRP did not do that. Right? And what does that do to the investor? That makes the investor mad. That makes the investor furious. That makes the investor like, wait, what's happening? That must mean XRP sucks. That's it. That's what it means. It means XRP sucks. No, that's not what it means. I'm going to explain what this means, okay? So to understand what it means, you have to understand what XRP has gone through. XRP has gone through hell. It's gone through the valley of darkness. I walk through the shadow of death, or whatever that rap song is, right? That song, right? You know, it's gone through hell. And you, like I've said in the last video, and I'm going to get into the nitty gritty, but I want to set the stage first, okay? So the big thing for me is you measure a coin's strength, not through its strength, but through its weakness. So take any coin on the planet and go to its weakest time. Maybe it had a lawsuit. Maybe it had a delisting. Maybe it had this or this. Maybe it had a 50% dump. Maybe it had a 90% dump. Whatever the worst thing happened to that coin, ask yourself, how did it recover, right? How did it fare? Well, like I said before, XRP was more beat up than any coin on the planet. It was, because it was basically the lawsuit of the century, the crypto lawsuit of the century. It's not Coinbase, it's Ripple, okay? And that's another reason why I'm so incredibly bullish on XRP, because they have a company named Ripple that is doing unbelievable things beyond our comprehension, with partnerships all around the world, working with central banks. And you can say, yeah, but talk is cheap, right? Talk is cheap. But they're actually making partnerships. Yeah, but it's not reflected in the price. I get it. Look, I'm right there with you. And I'm going to explain that. So, first of all, like I said, you measure a coin through its weakest point in history. XRP's weakest point in history was right here. That's when the SEC came out and totally destroyed the price of XRP. Then the exchange like Coinbase came out and delisted it. Then, when everything else went on a bull run, XRP only went into a retracement. That's all it did. That's all it did. It went into a retracement. So, while everybody else went partying and drinking and having a good time and living it up, XRP stayed home because it was grounded. It didn't get to go out that night. So what did XRP do while all the rest of the altcoins were out partying, having a good time? It went to the gym, right? It started working out. Hey, you guys are gonna go out drinking? That's cool. I'm gonna make a protein shake, and I'm gonna start working out. And that's what it did. And it started working out. Then what happened? Then the whole party was over. Everybody's drunk. Everybody's wasted. They come home, right? Let me go to the total 3 for this representation. So look at this right here. Follow along, because this is going to be good. So remember, this is total 3. This is basically a representation of all altcoins. Okay, so during this time right here, this is when XRP went into its retracement. But look what the rest of the market did. It broke the all-time high. It ran up and it broke the all-time high, right? The whole market did. Okay, so then, like I said, they went out partying and drinking. Now the party's over. And then look what happened. They're having a good time. Boom, they come home. Oh, I'm tired. My head is spinning. I got to go lay down. I don't feel good. So then what happened, right? The price just dumped. Now all the cryptos are all hung over, right? Now it's the next day. XRP's feeling good. XRP is feeling refreshed. Yeah, it's a little sore because it worked out, but hey, at least we're not hung over, right? So what happens? The prices of all the alts are sort of just, moping through the day, right? And then they start to kick off, and they're sort of going out, and drinking again, right? And they're starting to feel a little good, right? But look at XRP. Right here. See, XRP didn't do that. It didn't break out into an all-time high. But it wasn't hung over either. Instead, it just took a day off, right? And now what's happening is the rest of the market is starting to sort of recover. XRP is still pumping the iron. Basically, it's a crappy analogy. I get it. But I'm saying while the rest of the market is blasting through their momentum, XRP is building its momentum. And this comes down to the biggest base in crypto history right here. So here's the base right there. So look how long that base, that's a 6-year base. Okay. So now we're going to go back to total 3. How long was this base? This base was currently, I'll start it from here. I'll start it right there because that's really when the base started. So from June 2018 all the way up to November of 2020. So approximately 834 days. That is 2.3 years, okay? So that's not even 2.5 years. That's 2.3 years. So now let's measure XRP. XRP starts from over here because that's where the bottom of the range is. And then we're going to start it all the way here. Currently it's 2,480 days. How many years is 1,200 days? Okay, that's 3.2 years. So XRP, 2,480 days. So that's almost 7 years. That's 6.7, basically 6.8, okay? So we have 3.2 years versus almost 7 years. That's a massive difference. And you can say, well, yeah, but that's a bad thing. That's a horrible thing. Because, I mean, XRP hasn't broken out in less than 6 years, right? But it's been in this range for about, 7 years, give or take. I didn't do it on the pinpoint actual day, but I'm just giving you a rough estimate of how long this thing's been ranging. So why is that important? Because you've heard of the term, the bigger the base, the higher in space. If that's true, I'm not saying it's true. That's what people say. That's what I've noticed in my own analysis. It is true, right? So given that statement, if that's true, the bigger the base, the higher in space, then ask yourself this. What crypto has the biggest base of all? It's not Bitcoin. It's not any altcoin. It's XRP. And of course, the followers like XLM and maybe a couple others that were back there in the day. But none of them have the sort of look like XRP and XLM does as far as the ranging process goes, right? So the first part of this video is talking about how important a range is, because the range is the birthplace of the breakout. So let's just go to Bitcoin and I can prove that to you. Or let's go to THETA real quick. So here's THETA. THETA did one of the best bull runs last bull cycle. It went up, how much did it go up? About 45,000%, give or take, right? But where did that percentage come from? It came from what? A base. It came from a base, right? So that's the thing. When markets break out, let's say it's right here. Let's say the price is right here. That's when everybody gets excited. That's when everybody wants to invest. That's when everybody jumps in, right? So at the end of the day, is that the case, right? Is that what you want? No, you want to buy it when everybody else is dumping. Look what happened here. Look what happened. Yes, this was the C19 dump. We get it. But look, everybody dumped, right? And they got out. And it was in a range, right? First of all, it's ranging. It's brutal. We're going to break out. No, we're not. 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 And it just kept doing it over and over. It's torturing you, right? And then what happened? And then it's like, okay, now we're really going to break out. No, we're not. We're going to break down. And now we broke all this. And it just drives you nuts. Oh, now I'm out, right? Everybody sells. They get out. But that's when everybody was talking crap, right? It's in a range. It's not going anywhere. That's when it started. That's when the magic started. And okay, so if that's the case, right? Now we'll do another example. We'll do Bitcoin. If that's the case, right? If that's the case, then that means you want to look for assets that are in a base that haven't broken out. So here's a good example right here. Here was a base down here. The price crashed. It went in this base. It was grueling. It went sideways. Sideways. Sideways is good, right? Sideways is the best thing an asset can do, because ranging in a sideways range means distribution or accumulation. That's what it means. It's either one or the other. And since the price fell, right, from 20,000 all the way down to about 3,000, right? Then that's the probability of it being accumulation is higher than it being distribution. See, this was also a range, but it was a distribution range, right? This is an accumulation range. Then we break out, right? Everybody's excited, they buy. But look at this bull run right here. Look how massive that bull run is. Look at that. Okay, so where did that come from? It came from a range. So here's the range. I mean, you have to excuse this C19 event, but hey, it is what it is, right? It's a pretty gnarly range, right? We're coming to the top, to the bottom, almost to the top, broke down, came back to the top, right? It's sort of a sideways range, right? And then what happened when you broke out of that range? You flew, right? So I think, and then also you go back in time, right? So let's go back in time. Look at this bull run right here. I mean, this is unbelievable right here. This was the most famous Bitcoin bull run of all time. This is what put Bitcoin on the map, was the 2017 bull run. That was the epitome of all bull runs. It was the most unbelievable time in crypto. If you were watching the news, it just every day, and it was so long. It took forever, right? It was a long process to get to that top. But essentially, look at this. It's a massive breakout. So, but where did it come from? It came from a range. So all of this stemmed from this, right? So think of this like your concrete foundation. And this is your flagpole. That flagpole is planted into the concrete foundation, right? So then what happens? So then you sort of flag out. It's not really a good looking flag, but it is what it is. You know, you're flagging out in here. And then what happens? You break out. And then it's usually over with. So, but I mean, Bitcoin is an animal of its own. And if you're an altcoin holder, you are cheering for Bitcoin to go higher. You want Bitcoin to go higher. Bitcoin moves first. You say, well, if that's the case, then why would I be in any altcoin? Why would not Bitcoin? Well, again, definitely watch the last video. I'm repeating a lot of the same thing, but I'm setting the stage. You'll see why. It's all about percentages, right? It's about percentages. So for example, where is Bitcoin relative to its 2017 all-time high? I use the 2017 all-time high as my pivot point for investments until XRP does its thing, right? So what does that mean? This is my pivot right here. Is this high right here? So where is it relative to its all-time high? Well, it is currently about 300% above its pivot point. Okay? It's 300% above its pivot point. Now, we'll go back to XRP. So keep in mind what I said with the base. It all starts with a base. And if you take all this, let me take this off. And if you look at XRP like this, and I just put it down here, doesn't that look like something magical is going to happen at some point in its history? Maybe it doesn't happen. Remember, this is not financial advice. I could be wrong. My interpretation of what I see could be totally wrong. Always know that. I don't claim to know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm just presenting data, and I'm interpreting the data in a bullish way. So you can interpret it in a bearish way, and you can make that case. But for now, I'm making my case, and my case suggests that this is a base. And it is a fact that it is a base, right? So here's my pivot point right here. Here's my pivot. So where is Bitcoin? Bitcoin is currently, what did we say? About 280%. Okay, so if that's the case, if Bitcoin is 280% above my pivot, then that means Bitcoin is, let's go up, so we'll go up 280%. So that puts Bitcoin, the equivalent of Bitcoin, right about $12. Okay, so think about that for a second. So XRP, so Bitcoin is the equivalent of XRP being at $12. So I have to ask myself this question. As an investor, as a hodler, as someone who wants to hold, do I buy, and that's the measurement I'm using, right? Bitcoin is 280% above its 2017 all-time high. That means XRP, the equivalent of it, is at $12. So ask yourself this. If XRP hit $12, would you buy it? No. Why would you buy it? That's crazy. So that's why I'm asking myself that question with Bitcoin, right? And you can say, yeah, but it's totally different. And, one's hasn't broken out, the other one's on its way. I mean, that's what I'm saying. And it all comes down to not, yes, it's going to happen. It all comes down to percentage potential. That's the key word. Percentage potential. What has, as an investor, as I'm looking at the market, right? Think about Shark Tank, and you're looking at the business, and you're trying to think, what is the potential for this business? What is it worth? They're asking for $100,000 for 20%. Is it worth that, right? So I'm looking at XRP, and it's like somebody's giving the company away for $100,000 for 70%. I'm like, 70%? Hey, that's a steal right there, right? That's a bargain. So where is it? Well, currently it is, I'm going to come down here and I'm going to go all the way down. Currently going down, it's 76% away from its pivot, right? And then now I'm going to go back up and I'm going to say, currently we're 313% away just from the pivot, right? Bitcoin is 280% above its pivot. XRP is approximately, it's not about 300% away from its pivot, right? I'm not getting pinpoint accuracy percentage. I'm just giving you ballpark figures to sort of grasp what I'm saying here. Okay, so if that's the case, you could say, yeah, but a lot of altcoins can be like that. Yeah, but do they also have all the other check marks, right? And for me, they don't. And all those other check marks, right? Yeah, watch the previous video. It'll explain some of those check marks. And a lot of it has to do with utility, fundamentals, the company Ripple, all the partnerships they have. It's a slow burner, but that's the point of it. When you I go back to like Shark Tank, and who's the richest shark there? It's Mark Cuban. And what does Mark Cuban say? He says, the other guys, they want to try to blow it up as fast as they possibly can. But what does Mark say? Mark says, I want to grow it more organically. I want to, it's going to take more time, but it's going to be a bigger impact later on. And guess who's saying that? It's the richest shark, right? So he knows what he's talking about. So then I have to put myself, okay, so if we're right here, so if XRP is the equivalent of Bitcoin being at $12, right, or vice versa, then we'll do the same thing, right? We'll start it right at, it's approximately 74 cents, so right about there, and we'll go up to $12. So where's $12 at? So right about there. So what is that? That's 1,500%. So think about that for a second. So now it comes down to the PP, right? Percentage potential. If XRP were to be exactly where Bitcoin is now, that put from percentages, that would be 1,500%. Now you have to say, well, maybe that's never going to happen, right? But then I say, well, can I build the argument for that happening? Yes, I can build that argument. And that's what we're going to do now. I'm going to build the argument to say XRP has the potential to hit that $12 mark, right? So first of all, let's go back to total 3. So this is a representation of all the altcoins, right? So as a broad spectrum, you put the Fibonacci here, and we're going to go all the way down to here. Where did it hit? It hit approximately 3.272 to the 3.414. So we'll just say 3.414. It barely missed it by, let's see how much. It missed it by not even 2%. So we'll just say 3.414. Okay. So that's where it hit. So now I'm going to do the same thing with Bitcoin. Where did Bitcoin go in its venture, right? So Bitcoin, one moment, let me get this to scale here. Bitcoin hit, oops, that's not the right one. Let me get this here. Bitcoin almost hit a 4.236 extension, which it's almost at now. And that's another reason why I'm a little cautious here, because what if Bitcoin just goes to where it should go, which is the 4.236 extension. I don't know if I got it right on the dot. Actually, let me do it this way. Okay, so here we go. So here's the pivot right here, all-time high. So I put the fib from the bottom to the from the top to the bottom, and where did it go? Well, it almost hit a 4.236, but it got rejected, so it came all the way back down. Now look where it's at. Bitcoin is now officially at the 4.236, and look what happened. It basically went right up to it and rejected off of it. So maybe the bull runs over. Maybe that's it. Maybe Bitcoin doesn't go any more than that, right? It could be. It's totally possible, right? And that's where I'm concerned here, because I talked about this like a week ago or 2 weeks ago. I heard Blockchain Backer talk about it on one of his videos the other day. But I thought, oh yeah, I was talking about this for a while, thinking here, how can it hit? How come it didn't hit its 4.236? Maybe because it's still in the previous bull run, right? It's still in the previous wave, I should say. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and now we're getting 5. And the 5th wave might be not so impactful, right? And it hits that 4.236. But then the question becomes, well, then how come it's not 5 waves? So it's a little conflicting here, because you would say, okay, this is 1, this is 2, right? We're maybe getting 3, maybe we're in the process of 3, then we get 4, then we get 5. Then at that point, it would go much higher than the 4.236. So right now, from the pivot of 2017 down to the low, Bitcoin is right at the 4.236. That is a major, major caution signal, right? Because if you go back to other times and other charts, that's usually where they stall out at. So let's check Ethereum. Where's Ethereum at? Let's see where Ethereum went to. And you go, what does this have to do with XRP? You're going to see. Watch this. So let me just build the argument here. So Ethereum did not as well. It did not hit the 4.236. So it came close. So it hit the 3.414. Okay, fair enough. So we got a pretty good understanding. So both of them, the total 3 hit the 3.414, and so did Ethereum, and Bitcoin got a little higher. So now we understand that part. Okay, so what did XRP do? Let's go back and let's see what XRP did. XRP, let me put it on here. XRP did not even hit, didn't even break out. It didn't even hit the 1. It didn't even hit the 786. It didn't even hit the 702. and it barely missed the 618, guys. So where did the rest of the market go? It went where? It went to the 3.414. Where is that at? That is the equivalent of XRP being at $10. So right there. 10, and then the 4.236 is at $13. So there you go. So here's the argument right here. So if XRP were to have broken out like the rest of the market did, it most likely, considering Bitcoin did, Ethereum did, many altcoins did. I mean, look at Dogecoin, for example. Dogecoin blew past all the Fibonacci extensions, right? It went to the 2 on log scale. So where is the 2 on log scale? Just to put that in perspective. So I'm going to put it here. I'm going to go down to log scale. And where's the 2 at? Well, look at that. The 2 is all the way at $92. $92. Do I think XRP is going to hit $92? No, but I'm just giving you, Dogecoin was low market cap. It had a massive meme. It's the meme coin of crypto, right? So if you look at meme coins, it is at the forefront of meme coins. Bitcoin is at the forefront of crypto itself, but also proof of work. But XRP is also on the forefront of payments, right? And liquidity. So maybe not, right? So in other words, now let me go back here. So Ethereum, Bitcoin, total 3, the broader market hit the 1.414, which puts us right at, I got to get this back on linear scale so we can see it. Here we go. So approximately $10, between $10 and $13. But look what XRP did. It didn't even break out into a new all-time high. And I'm talking all of this, setting the stage, and I haven't even gotten into the analysis part of the video. That's how much, fuel I got in the fire here. That's why I'm like, should I start a YouTube channel? I've been putting out videos since October. I thought, yes, I can add some value because a lot of people already talk about crypto, XRP, TA videos. But the TA videos are very quick, 10 minutes long. They get straight to the point. But I don't like how I'm not that kind of person. For me, I like to prove in a way where it sort of makes my case. And now my case can be totally wrong. But when it comes to XRP, full disclosure, that is my biggest holding. XRP is my biggest holdings. Why? Because it checks off the most amount of boxes, right? So, like I said, most coins broke out. Literally almost all of them broke this high. XRP didn't. Now, to a person that can say, well, that means that's bad. You can look at it that way. That means it's no good. For example, Crypto Crew University. I love the guy. I respect him. Brilliant guy, very well respected in the community. He's got great indicators. You should go like and subscribe his channels. But he stated that since XRP did not break out into a new all-time high, that means it probably never will in the history of XRP, and it will most likely be knocked out of the top 10. I can't disagree with that more. At that point, I'm like, I can't watch this anymore. He has an argument, and I think you should listen to his argument, right? But if you kind of go back in time to his earlier XRP videos, he didn't really state that. He did change his tone on it. And again, he could be right, and I could be wrong, right? But that's his facts that he presents based off his, or I should say opinions that he's basing it off of his interpretation. My interpretation is no, that's bullish. Because like I said, everybody went out partying, drinking. XRP was still pumping up iron, right? And you can say, well, I need more than that. I'm still not convinced. Okay. So now we get into, we talked about the range. We talked about the Fibonacci, right? And approximately we are so, and here's the other part, XRP valuation. So the XRP valuation, given that it's a top 10 coin, is severely undervalued. That's why I'm an investor, right? Imagine Tesla. I don't know what the price of Tesla is. Or let's say Tesla, right? The price of Tesla, it just came out, right? And it's only $5 a share. Okay. So imagine in the future, it goes to $1,000 a share, right? And you start buying it at $5. You have to ask yourself, how many other people did that? Not many at all. Not that many at all. I bet only a few did, right? Why? Because it was boring. It was going sideways. Nothing was happening, right? And that's what's happening with XRP. So currently, XRP is approximately between I would say between 1,200% and about 1,600% away from its previous would have been bull run all-time high. The fact that it didn't do that means that now, let me take the Fibonacci off. It's probably it has the potential to go even higher than that. Now, is it going to go higher than that? I don't know. Is it going to even break out into a new all-time high? I don't know. I think it will. Like I said, this is my biggest position. I am positioned in a way where that is my conviction, that is my belief. It could be wrong. And if I'm wrong, I have ways to protect myself. But as an investor, I'm looking for what has the most potential. XRP. What has the lowest risk based off the valuation, based off where others are in their market cycles? XRP. XRP is the equivalent. Now watch this. I'm gonna put the fib on here. And where is XRP at? XRP is below the 2.36, just below it, right? Okay, so let's go to Bitcoin and we'll do the same thing. Let's go back in time. Where was the 236? Look at this. It's at $7,000. So imagine Bitcoin is at, say, $6,700, $6,500. Think about that for a second. Would you buy it? Hell yeah. That's a good discount, right? So back over here, it didn't feel like that. So here's the range, and here's another a proof bomb right here. So you have a rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, sideways, here's your sideways base, and then breakout, right? And in that sideways base, where was it? It was right below the 236. Okay? It's right below the 236. Now go back to XRP. If I can find it, where did it go? Oh, look at this. 1 hour ago, XRP becomes best performing cryptocurrency in top 10 after sudden price surge. Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's all sudden until it happens. That's why you got to position yourself before it happens. And that's why I've been talking about XRP for so long. So here's the thing. So where was Bitcoin at? It was right at the 236, right? That's the equivalent of Bitcoin being less than 7,000. So then what else? What else was it? So we had a rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, sideways. So here's the sideways base. So again, this is very important. That's why I'm going to repeat myself. We have a rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, sideways. So during the sideways range, we are at the 236. Okay, so let's go back to Bitcoin. Where's Bitcoin at? So let's go back here. So here we go. Same exact thing. We have a rise. Here's our pivot, the same pivot. We have a rise, crash, retrace. Here's the reaccumulation, right? And where was the sideways base? It was right at the 236, between the 236 and the 382. So, I mean, come on, it's right there. So if that's the case, we have a rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, sideways at the 236. Same thing. We have a rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, sideways at the 2, 3, 6. Okay? So going back to Bitcoin, what happened during that time? What happened? Well, now let me take everything off the screen. We had a small base. Look how small it was. It was tiny. Like, I'll even start it back over right over here. Look at this. So look at this. It was what, 2 point, it was less, what was it, less than 3 years about? So let's see, 2018 to 19 to 20 to 21. We'll say 3 years, a little over 3 years, right? We started breaking out. There was the base, right? Very small. Okay, so when you compare that to XRP, this whole thing is the base. Look on the bottom of your screen. You see 2018, 2019, 2020, 21, 22, 23, 24, right? You see all of these years. So the base is so much bigger and the reaccumulation is so much bigger. What does that mean? That means it is accumulating the likes of which we can't even comprehend. Now, why does everybody don't like XRP? Why did people sell it? Why do people say, I'm done with it, I can't take it anymore? Because it's not doing anything. It's not performing. Why? Because it's in accumulation. It's in torture. And you can say, well, when's it going to end? How long is this going to take? That's where you have the good investors, the wise investors, from the I want to get rich quick, fast, I'm going to lose all my money investor. Okay, so think about Warren Buffett, and I use him as an example. Does he care when his stocks go up? Of course he does. But he knows he can't control the time of when it happens. But what he can control is where he is during that time when it eventually does, or I could say potentially happens. And that is positioned. You want to position yourself before the storm, right? If you know a hurricane is coming, right? You know it's coming. You prepare. You prepare for that storm. So we don't know if it's going to come or we don't know if it's going to pass, right? The news says it's going to come. The forecast says it's going to come, right? And that's what I'm doing. I'm forecasting it. Now, that doesn't mean it has to come. Remember, not financial advice, but I'm making the argument of why I think XRP is in a prime position for an extraordinary, I could say life-changing situation, life-changing wealth. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe it only goes to $4, right? Maybe it only retraces this move here. So let me put this on here, and I'll go down here. So we hit the 618. Maybe it only goes to the 702 and has another retracement, and then it has to go sideways for longer. I can't see that happening. I can't see why that would happen, because why? We have all the elements. We have Bitcoin at an all-time high. We have XRP in the end stages, potentially, of its reaccumulation, right? So, and then we have, the lawsuit, right? They say, well, XRP is never going to do anything until the lawsuit is completely finished. Maybe that's the case. Maybe that's true. Maybe that might be the catalyst for an XRP explosion, right? But what I'm trying to say is, how do you know when that occurs? You don't know. So wouldn't you rather be positioned before that happens? And that's what I'm trying to say. People say, why do you invest in XRP? Because I want to position myself before the lawsuit ends, before the big pump ends. Because when this thing goes, it doesn't go like Bitcoin. It goes in a massive candle like this right here. This candle alone, this weekly candle, right? It went up, almost 600% in a week, right? So you can miss out on a lot of price movement, right? And now you can be one of those that say, well, I don't care. I want it to break out first and then I buy. That's perfectly fine. I totally respect that and I get it. And that's where it comes as your strategy. Like some people, for example, let me take this off. They're not going to buy until we break out of here, right? Once we get through the retracement levels and we break out, then that's when they buy. And that's why the price, when it breaks out, it goes parabolic, because most people don't want to take that risk, right? But look at the difference. Look at the difference. So I'm going to take it from the middle of this range, right? So the average price is approximately, I would say, about 43.50 cents. So we'll do 43%. And now I'm going to go up to $10. So that's approximately 2,200, we'll say 2,250%, thereabout. So 2,250% versus if I were to wait until we broke out of here, I'll put it right in the middle and I'll go up 10%, or I'll go up to $10. Look how massive the difference is. That's only 300%. That's what I'm saying, guys. And they're fine with that. Like the institutions, the smart money, whoever, right? Whoever's doing that strategy. You have dumb money, smart money, doesn't matter, right? But they're okay with 300. That's still a lot. That's 300%, right? That's great. But it's not life-changing, right? In order to have life-changing, you have to take a massive risk. And the massive risk comes at below the all-time high. But you have to have a good argument for that. And I think I laid that out. And I still have much more to go. I mean, we're almost at 50 minutes. And I'm only sort of setting the stage of what this is about. Okay? So, that's the difference. You have something that's almost 3,000% versus 300%. Right? So if I do it from where we are right now to $10, that's still about what, 1,200%, 1,300%. That's still pretty good. But if you were to wait until it breaks the all-time high, which is nothing wrong with that, that's someone's strategy, because that means the reason why people wait until we break out and to a new all-time high is because, number one, we have assurance that we got through the retracement levels, and number two, we have assurance most likely that we're breaking into price discovery, right? So up to $10, that's approximately 220%. So hey, you do what you want, right? I'm not here to say any other way. So we talked about that. We talked about the Fibonacci. We talked about the range, right? So this range is a small representation of this range. So I just took a screenshot here and I got basically color coded it so that we get more of a visual representation. So the green is the bull run. The red is the bear market, right? The blue is the retracement and the yellow is the reaccumulation. And then what happens after yellow, right? We get, hopefully, potentially, maybe not, a green, right? So looking at this pattern, it looks decent, right? And that, to me, alongside the Fibonacci, alongside it not breaking out to a new all-time high, alongside XRP being in the top 10 despite a major lawsuit, and being in the top 10 despite not breaking out into a new all-time high, which is unheard of, and being in the top 10 despite major delistings like from Coinbase, right? So, with the lawsuit. So that was huge. The fact that XRP can hold the top 10 title. So XRP got delisted, it had a lawsuit, and it didn't break out. 3 strikes, you're out. Those are 3 major blows to XRP. And what happened to XRP during those 3 hits, right? It's like getting shot with a shotgun 3 times in the chest. It still got up. It's like the Terminator, right? It still got up and it kept strong in the top 10. So if that's the case, if it can be that strong during its weakest time, imagine what you think, how strong it will be during its strong times. If you get what I'm saying, right? We saw how strong it was during its weakest moment. Imagine how it will be during its strongest moment. Just saying. Just saying. So there you go. Okay, so now we can get sort of more into the analysis part of it. Okay, so yeah, it only took me 50 minutes to set the stage. So now we can start the video. Oh man. Uh how many people can sit there and talk for 50 or for an hour straight every video? I mean, I think a lot of content creators would run out of things to say. Yes, I do repeat myself, but I like to emphasize things. It's just my style. So so we'll get into the analysis part. So for me, let's count Elliott waves, right? So here's one count you can look at. So here's one, right? Here's two down here. And then here's three, or I'm sorry, 4 and 5. Three's up here. So that's one count we can look at, right? So if that's the case, right, we have an impulse, right? We have an impulse off the bottom. We have a correction. We have another impulse. So for now, that could be an A, B, C, right? But usually in the beginning, right, it's an impulse. And, moving up, what was this? From the base here to the top. I mean, that thing went up, almost 70,000%. I don't think, it could be an ABC, but it looks like it's a third wave. So we have 1, 2, 3. Okay. Then we have 4. Where's 5 at? What happened to the fifth wave? It never happened. We were supposed to get the fifth wave here, but it never broke out into a new all-time high, right? And you can say, well, that's bad. I say that's good, right? It was bad back then because it was missed potential, right? It missed out on a lot of potential, right? But now, fast forward today, everybody else already went into their bull run. They already had their bear market, and now they're starting their retracement, even some of them breaking out to new all-time high. Meanwhile, XRP is in reaccumulation, which is a good thing looking ahead, right? It might not be good right this second, but it's good for the fact that we're positioning ourselves before that happens. So this is one count, right? So if that's the count, then we're in the fifth wave. So now let's talk about the fifth wave. Okay, so in the fifth wave, we have 1, 2, and now we're waiting for the third wave. So we're in the middle. Think about that. We're in the middle of the third wave. It's coming soon. Maybe it's happening now. We're at 74 cents. I mean, just yesterday we were at 60 cents. We're up almost 15 cents. Pretty big. So we have a 1, 2, right? And now hopefully eventually we have a third wave. Okay, now let's talk about that. This is where it's going to get very interesting. Very interesting. So let me zoom in here and we'll talk about the third wave, right? So in the third wave, we already have one wave, right? So here's the one wave. So let me get rid of all this. And now we'll talk about the third wave. If this is the count, there's another count that's even more bullish, and we'll talk about that one too. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that's wave 1 of 3, right? Then we have a 1, 2, 3 wave pullback. Maybe it's not finished yet, right? Maybe it was a running flat. Okay, so that, my friends, now let me do this. I'll go back here. This whole thing is wave 1, this is wave 2. And now we're about to enter wave 3. Maybe it doesn't I'm not saying today. Maybe today. I don't think today, but maybe tomorrow. Maybe next week. I don't know. I don't know when. That's the thing. You don't know when. It could take another couple months. But the price is what the price is. And the structure says, yeah, this could be a nice potential for that third wave. So let's go up in wave 3, right? We'll go up in wave 3. And then we get 4, and then we get 5. I don't know where wave 3 is going to go. I just put it there. It could be here, it could be there, it could be I'm just drawing it there for a representation. Okay. So now if that's the case, now let's look at the third wave. So look at this. Look